come. Fine. So I'll start my presentation and webinar. I'll just share my screen with you all so that it would help me show you the, yeah. Is my screen now visible to you all? Sir, is the screen visible?
Yes.
Yes. So we'll get started. Before getting started, I'll introduce myself. I'm Vigneswar Kumar from Chennai, a corporate trainer who trains the employees, who trains the college students on the skills that is required in the industry level. So today I thought when the management approached me, I thought I would give you an insight about what are the skills that probably you people will require once you complete your graduation and get into the job market. At the same time, no, this COVID situation has also created very new situations for us. Now, the demand of skills into the market is entirely different, which was actually not there before, 3 months. So I thought I would give you an insight about both of these things so that it would be really helpful for you to, continue your career into any of the thing which you wish. Now, talking about what has happened in this COVID-19 period. So one thing which has happened is that we got quarantine. We all were inside the house, but there was a hell lot of things which were happening outside. Now, this particular government from 2014, we have so many overnight things happening. We had demonetization coming. We had the GST being implemented overnight. At the same time, now this also has happened overnight. Now it has changed the complete situation of the businesses, of the people's life, of the economy, and this one small virus has put everything toppled. Fine. So since there is a huge drastic change in everything around us, there is a requirement for us also to change. So that is something we should definitely accept and move towards. So talking about what all went wrong. So after the COVID-19 has hit our people, our life, talking even with respect to the business perspective, it has hit really bad. So before March, the situation was different. Hope you people know what is the demand and what is the supply. Now, I found few of the participants who have joined are from economics background too. So for the people, demand and supply, I hope you know that. So when the situation before the COVID-19 was analyzed, it was told that the supply is correct or more to the demand. But immediately overnight, the situation changed. Fine. We didn't have the supply, but the demand stayed up same or kept on increasing. This twist requires all the policies in our place. All the policies, if I mean, it is not only the government's policies, it is also about the institutions' policies, it is also about the company's policies, and it is about even in your house, the policy of running the house should have changed. Fine. So this change has brought in a lot of changes that needs to be taken by us. And second thing is the cash flow got frozen. No, we didn't have money getting revolved. Fine. There was no money out there. There is no the circulation of money happening. All the businesses froze. And next important knowledge that we all got in this COVID-19 period is that the cost of living has never been higher. Fine, it was the cost of lifestyle that has kept us spending so much of money every day. The cost of living is actually not higher because we were led to spend only on our basic needs, which is actually the cost of living. Fine. If that was to be higher before, then it is not cost of living, it is the cost of lifestyle that we were spending a lot. Another big change which happened, or which actually put everyone us into stress, is not staying home alone. It is about these people into the social media, the people who were making TikToks, the people who were making YouTube videos about food. Of course, it is another important the event that was happening. We have got the creativity up going on. So these are the situations with respect to COVID-19. Now, since I was talking earlier to you that I'm going to be talking about two things. One is COVID-19, one side, and the other one is going to be fourth industrial revolution. Now that everyone is aware about what is COVID-19 and what are the things that went wrong in this particular time with respect to businesses, now I just want to give you an insight about what is fourth industrial revolution. Fine. So if COVID-19 is the change that we didn't want to happen, fourth industrial revolution is going to be the change that we want immediately to adopt. Fine. So the fourth industrial revolution, to be explained, is simply in this picture. Fine. Before hundreds of years, before when we had the steam engine got no being found, we had very large amount of labor working on that to do the production of any product. It is quite long time, which started in London. And then we had the second industrial revolution where we had mass production and assembly lines. The best example that any layman could relate is Charlie Chaplin's no comedy video. If you could see, he'll be working in a factory. The Charlie Chaplin's main no idea to depict the pain of the industrial revolution in a comical way. So if you could see his videos, you can really understand what is actually the second industrial revolution is. He'll be working on the mass production assembly lines. He'll get jammed. See, people had to work day and night in making sure that the mass production was happening. Fine, the small work was split into multiples, and then the work happened. Then later on, before around, talking about 30 years before, we had this third industrial revolution starting. Fine, this third industrial revolution is nothing but automating the production processes. If you could see all the industries now, fine, if you could see the world industries and manufacturing sector, you would find that they have systems installed, they have softwares installed. The system, the hydraulics, the mechanics, the mechatronics things actually work to produce the things. Fine. So now that was the third revolution, third industrial revolution. Now the world is stepping into something called fourth industrial revolution. The world has already started talking about this in 2012, but we India are still not into that level. A best example to that would be this ratio. I mean, in this graph, if you can see, these are the other world countries to which we are competing with. If you see India's robot density, if I say fourth industrial revolution, it is about the robots taking human jobs. In simple term, I'm actually not telling it directly that humans will be replaced by robots, but a situation where artificial intelligence comes into picture, a situation where the human physical power or physical work is going to be reduced drastically when compared to the other people. Fine, with compared to the other businesses. So talking about how industries in India actually coping up with this fourth industrial revolution, the answer is quite low. We are not actually coping up with the international standards with respect to no changing all the no manufacturing sector. But I would not blame the Indian government for this or for the Indian economy for this, because if you see another data, it clearly shows that India is not a manufacturing hub place. We don't manufacture a lot. China is the country which actually manufactures a lot. Then what do India do? India is a service oriented society, service oriented economy. We do provide services for the businesses. So that may be the reason that the government would tell for not making the things into mechanics, directly into the fourth revolution. That could be the reason. But actual reason is that since we are even into the service sector, we are also in a place to cope up with fourth industrial revolution. Fourth industrial revolution is not only for manufacturing sector, it is also for the servicing sector. But are we working upon that? Is India working upon that servicing sector for fourth industrial revolution? The answer is quite cloudy only. We don't have a clear-cut answer about, or we don't have any. I could straightly say that there is no proper policy of the government placed for fourth industrial revolution. Even this word fourth industrial revolution is not known in this place. Most of the students, most of the college students don't know this name. The reason is that government is not concentrating on that. That would be my perspective on that. But talking about how can we improve the services? Now here comes we need to do something. If you're talking about uh, introducing introducing new technologies or introducing new things for service industry, what would that be? First point, what is service industry? Service industry is support, giving support, based on the service to the main businesses. Hope you all know India does really good with IT industries. We have lot of service oriented business happening. Fine, but they are again now changing. This is something very important. Now, if I am telling that we need something in place for fourth industrial revolution, that would be simply a change. Fine, we need to change everything. Now, when I tell everything, there are only two things that I'm meaning. One is the government policies. Fine. Now, government policies targeting towards making the people change towards this particular fourth industrial revolution, which COVID-19 has actually brought in. I'm going to talk about that later so that I could give you a clear picture about how this transmission is actually happening. And the second important thing is the educational institutions. Now, this is where our topic comes in. If I tell the educational institutions need to change, I am not telling the institutions' execution of the courses needs to change. I am talking about the college students need to change. They need to upgrade their skills. Fine, that is something very important that we are going to talk about. Now, you are telling that I need to change. Completely accepted. Now, where should I start? What is the thing that I should concentrate to change? As simply, it is your skills. Fine. So this for this, I could give you just a best example. Before 3 or 4 years, in foreign countries, if you go to a shop, a food shop, maybe it could be McDonald's or Domino's or anything of that matter, you would go there and give your order, and there will be a person who will make your order and give. Now, simply a system was installed in the McDonald's. Now, this is McDonald's is only one company which is coming up with this features. They are leading this fourth industrial revolution with respect to services. They have a system in place, a simply a monitor in which you could select what you want and place the order, and the order goes into the kitchen and you get the order done. But now the person who was taking the order is being eliminated and a system is being brought into the picture. Now this is what is going to happen for most of the jobs which is going to come in future. But then what do laborers do? What do the others do? What are we supposed to do? It is very simple. We need to upgrade our skills so that we could cope up with the technology. If there is going to be technology in the place, and we should be the people who will put that technology in place. We should not be the person who will just use the technology. Or even in the other words, I could say, if you're going to be a person who was only doing people related works, you would start knowing technology much more so that you could cope up with the technology that is going to come. For example, that person who was, I would take the same example of this McDonald's. That person who was in McDonald's, who was receiving order, is being now replaced by a monitor. Now, what would that person do? That person needs to upgrade his skills little more about how to use this technology and come back to the same place and make sure that his work is not lost. Fine. So now moving ahead, you will understand what we are actually talking about. Fine. So now I'm telling you need to upgrade your skills. Upgrade your skills for your fourth industrial revolution, at the same time COVID-19. When I talk about upgrading skill for COVID-19, what is going to happen next? For that, you should know these two terms which I'm going to predominantly use: hard skills and soft skills. What is hard skills? What is soft skills? Hard skills are nothing but the physical work you do. Fine, the physical technology the physical work you do in your companies, the physical things you do using your even your mind comes into your picture. Even a coding skill is a hard skill. When hard skill is where the training happens on people and they acquire the skill and they can redo it. The second segment of skills is called soft skills. Fine. Soft skills is again another important skill which everyone should possess. Now, in our Indian society, the soft skill is not given that much important. The sad part is this: This soft skill is what is going to rule the world in the future next future. If I mean, it is not only the future where industrial revolutions are going to come into picture, fourth industrial revolution, it is also post COVID-19. What is soft skill? Soft skill is simply the skills that you possess from inside. Fine. It is about people management. It is about you being confident. It is about you thinking. It is about you handling the situations. It is about simply your change in thinking process and behavioral changes. And this could be the soft skill. Now that I have explained you what is hard skills and what is soft skills, now I directly move into what is going to be the situation after COVID-19. Fine. So once I probably expect our government to open up our economy this 17th, that most of the people will be going to work. And the sad part is you may also face few companies laying off a lot of people. Fine. You should also understand one more thing. If the layoff is happening, please note this. If the layoff is happening, company can't run without manpower. It is going to need the manpower. Then why do they lay off people? The point is very simple. They want to reduce their cost. I'll just give you an example. If I join a company, fine. Today I'm joining the company and I'm getting 20,000 as my salary. Okay. After 5 years, the given market, increment would be 5 to 7%. To that, after 4 or 5 years, I'm earning somewhere around 40 or 45,000 or even 50,000 for that matter. Now, after 5 years, where will I be? I will not be in the same entry level position. I must have gone at least up to a senior associate or a manager position after 5 or 6 years, and I'll be earning 45,000. Now, here you should understand what is the role of the manager. If you are going to be the manager, what is going to be your role? You are going to oversee the jobs or oversee the works being done by your associate or entry level people. You are just overseeing them so that to avoid the falses and to do the no issues or the troubleshooting which may be required. That is your role, and that is the salary, and that is what is the job description given to a manager role or a senior associate. Fine. Now a recession like this is happening where you don't have money to run the company. Or what will the companies do? Imagine there are two layers: entry level people and manager level people. Entry level people are doing the work and learning the work. Manager level people are overlooking them. If I need to remove someone from my company, and the reason for removing is only cost reduction, I will not remove any entry level employees. I will remove the managers from their position. I will lay off them from the company. The people who are working to 5 and 6 years in my company, I will remove them from my company. Now, what will I do? Now, I should have some managers, right? I will pull up the entry level people who are really good at their work to the manager level, right? So that the salary that I would need to give to them will be reduced, because the salary increment is based on the job, one part, and also on the service that you put inside a company. Fine. So I put him in the manager position. Now I don't have to pay him 45. With a job promotion, if I give him 35,000, previously he was getting only 20,000. Now I give him 35,000 with the promotion. He's going to be happily accepting that. So he goes to that position. Now what happens is the entry level is vacant. Now I want 5 people. Now I have only 4 because I put one person in the management position. Now this entry level is empty. Now I will recruit people for this entry level position. So post COVID-19, what is the situation we are going to face is that we are going to have jobs, but the jobs are going to be there for entry level people who are out of the college. Fine, who are actually looking for the right job, who have proper graduation in their hand. Fine. So this is what is going to be the situation. Now keep this situation in your mind and see here. Okay. Now I need to get a job. I need to have skills. Does hard skills really matter for me when I search a job after COVID-19? The answer is no. The reason why I tell no is that you have a lot of people in the market. I think there is some disturbance. 1 minute. Okay. Please mute yourself. There is some. Yeah. If hard skills is really going to matter, definitely not. Because we are going to have lot of graduates out there. If I want a person with BA English literature, fine. Just an example. I run a publishing company, so I want a BA English literature person in my office as an entry level employee. Just imagine this is the situation. Now I will have hundreds of people with BA English literature only. Fine. If I put a job notice, that a job requirement notice, I will have hundreds of people applying for the position with the same hard skill. If it's going to be a manufacturing company, I'm going to have a lot of manufacturing background people, mechanical background people, electrical background people coming and applying. Fine. The hard skill is not going to be the matter after COVID-19 situation. Then now what is going to be the matter? The soft skills are going to be the matter. The soft skills is going to be the deciding factor in giving jobs and even people getting laid off from their job. Fine. If a manager possesses huge soft skills in leadership and pushing the company up from this particular pandemic, he will stay in the job. He will not be moved out of the job. Fine. So the soft skills, that matters a lot. But the sad part is the college students who are immediately out of the company, out of the colleges, are not being told that soft skills matter a lot. That is the deciding factor of any job inside the market. Fine. Now we are critically talking about only the COVID-19 situation. I would like to give you a list of skills. Fine. In this 1 hour session, it is so obvious that I will not be able to train everyone on individual skills, but I could give you an insight. The purpose of webinar itself is to give you an insight in understanding what are the skills that you will require in COVID-19, post-COVID-19 situation, and also after fourth industrial revolution. Talking about the skills that you will need, the very first skill would be the critical thinking. What is critical thinking? Critical thinking is very simple, that you understand a particular issue or a problem from all angles. As simple as that it is. It is simply stepping behind and looking all possible solutions for a single problem. So that is something highly required in the market. You need to get into the job, means you should really process this critical thinking a lot, because after COVID-19, as I was telling, the demand, the supply, the business strategies, the way the business is happening is all going to change. Even this particular COVID-19 era itself, now where we are all in lockdown itself, we had most of the changes happening. You had all the companies getting changed to online mode. Whatever was considered impossible has now become possible because of COVID-19. The best example is work from home. Getting work from home for IT employees were not so easy. They were telling that you can't sit in your house and do. Now for past 3 months, all the IT companies are still making profit, and they are also having people inside their house working for them. Fine. It was said that government cannot take care of delivering any sort of vegetables or doing any sort of businesses on their own. But now government is coming to your house and delivering things. Fine. It is taking that initiative now. That is also possible. Now another big thing is about the shutting down of liquor shops. Fine. For past 3 months or at least 2 months, we are not having any liquor shops. Fine. All the liquor shops are shut down because of the COVID-19. If we are talking about complete ban on liquor and telling that it is impossible, COVID-19 has showed us that it is possible. Now, these are few examples like how COVID-19 has actually put into a situation where everything has changed. Fine. Now, when you're getting into a company, no old strategies are going to work. Fine. No business is going to work with old strategies. They are going to have new strategies in place, or they will have to think of new strategies, is where a critical thinking person is required in a company. Fine. And next is the leadership. Now this is the other skill which I was talking about, where the managers, if they possess the leadership quality, they can stay inside the company, because leadership is again very important place. Even an entry level employee with a leadership will be given priority, because he would be a person who could influence his fellow people in making the bigger targets which are going to be there for the companies in a recent future. And next is a vision. Fine. This is not only for the COVID 19 era, this skill is important for anyone who is getting into the job market. He should have a proper vision. He should know that what he is up to. Fine. He should have a vision about himself, that where he is going to be in this career growth, and at the same time he should have a vision where the company is going to grow. As I said earlier, no company know what is going to be the situation after the lockdown. We as see, the main concept of business is two things. One is cash flow, whether the money is getting circulated or not, and the second one is about the demand and supply. Most of the businesses work for the supply, work for the demand. If there is a demand, they give the supply. Now the demand is there, but are we in a position to supply? That is the situation which India has never faced before to this level. We have always had people working. We kept on increasing people working. We imported things to make sure our supply is our demand is managed. But now the situation is not that. Now we need new strategies. We are going to have new businesses coming up, so that a vision is required. Next important is the composure and patience. You need to wait. I'm sorry to tell this, people who are in hunt of jobs and people who are going to be laid off, you should have high patience level. You should not be desperate. You should not make wrong decisions at this point of time. And even the companies would expect a person with proper composure and patience. The reason is that everyone are in panic state. Everyone will be desperate about making things right. Being desperate and being fast in doing things is of course going to make you do few mistakes. So patience and composure is the next soft skills that the company would be expecting from you when you're going post COVID-19. Another important thing is the emotional intelligence. This patience and emotional intelligence are mostly correlated. When I talk about emotional intelligence, it is about not only about getting carried away by the newses you hear, getting carried away or getting influenced by very weak ideas and very weak orders given to you in your job locations. You should be emotionally intelligent, because when you go to the company after COVID-19, there are big problems that we'll be facing in our family. We will not have proper cash flow to even run our families. There may be situations like that. At that point of time, it should not disturb you in growing your career. Fine. If you are having proper emotional intelligence, have a clear cut division between the problems you face in your personal life and in your career life, you're not going to grow. We don't want any mixing. See, already this work from home has actually gradually merged before the work life balance. Now when you're going to separate it, we are going to have some trouble. Like how we had problem working from home in balancing your work life time, similarly you're going to have a problem in getting deviated from it. So emotional intelligence, it's again another important character or important soft skill that I would suggest people should have post COVID-19. And next important is about the creativity. Now, as I was telling, the situations are not same. You need to be creative. You need to come up, even though if it's going to be an entry level employee or a manager or even a CEO or an MD. Everyone needs to be creative. Everyone needs to come up with ideas. And I personally believe all the companies are going to encourage people with creativity is because they want creative solutions to stay up in this business. Fine. So since I was telling earlier that the cost of life is not more, the cost of lifestyle is more. Most of the businesses out there is catering our lifestyle only. Maybe it is the textile industry, take it the entertainment industry, importantly, the aviation industry. All these industries were actually taking care of the lifestyle of us and not the life. Fine. The things which took care of our life is going to stay same. It's not going to have any issue. Food, vegetables, milk, all are going to stay really good. Fine. It is about the industry which was catering our lifestyle is going to be into the problem. So the people who were into these industries need to come up with really creative ideas so that they again pull back their people, pull back people who were actually giving them the business. So creativity is another important thing that any person should concentrate on his skill set post COVID-19. Now, now that I have given you a proper insight about what is going to be the situation post COVID 19, I would like to give you a few skills that you may require when you are into the fourth industrial revolution. Now, no, a few days before, if you see that the government is coming up with a lot of packages, and if you look into the packages, the policy behind that is very clear. We are actually moving up or giving money in hands of people to spend more. Fine. When you give money to the companies, fine, for example, the manufacturing companies, they are of course going to spend it more. Fine. When they are going to spend it more, possibly they will move on to the fourth industrial revolution. They will actually grow in line of fourth industrial revolution only. That's a clear logic here. Fine. So when the companies are going to grow in that way to increase their supply, to increase their manufacturing ability, what is the skill that you need to have? So post COVID-19, you have companies recruiting with proper skills. Post COVID-19, you're going to have people recruiting for fourth industrial revolution also. Keeping in mind, because companies would probably spend their money into this particular no outline given by the fourth industrial revolution. So what are the skills required? Do I need hard skills? Do I need to learn some new technologies? Do I need to learn some new techniques? Do I need to learn anything that is required with job, understanding the job, to doing the job? Should I be a unique person in doing some unique jobs? The answer is a big yes. In COVID-19, it was no, because we had a lot of people coming with same skills, same hard skills. But that situation is very temporary. Out there in next 6 months or 1 year, we will come up with that situation. We will have different situation at that point of time, which is going to be this fourth industrial revolution. So fourth industrial revolution needs hard skill, not only soft skill. You should have hard skill. Do I need soft skills? Yes, you need soft skills too. Fine, you need huge soft skills too. Now I am going to discuss upon what are these skills. Fine, what are these skills? Now, do we have these skills? You're telling that you need hard skill, you're telling that you need soft skills, but do we actually have these skills? Do we have things in place to get those skills in very short time? No, the answer is big no. Fine. If I could explain you in a better way, there are four stages or four important stakeholders in this particular issue. One is your education system. Next is the skills that a person possesses. Next is the business demand. Next is the business future demand. So it's education, skills, demand in business, and demand in future business. These are the four things or the four stages or the four stakeholders, I could say. Now we'll have to compare and see whether these things are bridged or not. Education and skills are bridged. Yes, education and skill are bridged. You get the skills according to the education given to you. Now, the next bridge that needs to be done is skills with the requirement in the company, the demand in the company. Is this being bridged? No, I'm sorry to say it is not actually bridged. We need to spend some enough time on ourselves, not depend on any of the system, and we should cope up ourselves in taking up new skills that the companies are going to want. I'm going to talk about those skills no a while later. So this bridge is not being bridged. The bridge between skills and the demand in the market. And next bigger thing which is not being bridged is the skills in the demand in the business and the demand that will be in future. This is also not being bridged. Now that bridging needs to be done by the companies. We are not going to be those people who are doing it. Now, but this bridge, the skills and the demand in company is the bridge that we as college students or we as people who are going to go into the job market should definitely concentrate upon. Fine. Now, how will I think and how will I bridge these gaps? What are the skills that is required? I'm going to talk here now. Now here I was telling that the future business and the current business needs to be bridged. Who will do that? Companies will do that. When will companies do that? When the government is in support of it. When will the government be support of it? Post COVID-19 is because they have fetched, or they are dumping in lot of money into the businesses. If you could clearly see what is the economic policies that our ministers and prime minister has been discussing, it is all about pushing these companies to the next level. Now the companies are ready to get pushed to the next level. Now who is not ready? It is about the people ourselves. We will have to upskill ourselves, because it's economy is just a circle. Now everyone needs to contribute. Fine. Now the government has contributed through the companies to upscale. Now it is our responsibility to contribute for the companies, so that the overall view of country being developed happens. Fine. Now this is the issue with respect to the skill gap. It is about, you need to upgrade your skill, and companies need to upgrade their business. Now companies have started, we have to start. Now how are we going to start? Now I am going to give you a matrix. Fine. This matrix has three segments. One is the ability. What are the abilities that you should have? Fine. So I'll start with this ability. You should have a cognitive analytics skill. Now, what is cognitive analytics skill? You should be in a position to understand one particular thing with multiple, thinking process. You should have this multi-phased view on things. You should be flexible enough to have that knowledge. Fine. And next is the creativity. I have explained very clearly what is the creativity part does. In COVID-19, it is the same here also. And next is the logical reasoning. Now again, this skill is again very, very important. For past 2 or 3 years, companies have started recruiting people based on logical reasoning. They'll have a test to do this logical reasoning test, and they recruit based on that. Problem sensitivity. I am not talking about problem solving. I'm talking about problem sensitivity. What is problem sensitivity? You should have a sense that something is going wrong. Very simple. With that sense itself, you could come up with a solution. Now, this is the other ability that the companies are looking. Mathematical reasoning, again, companies have already taken this into hand and started recruiting people with mathematical reasoning. And next, very, very important, is visualization. Understanding things in a pictorial form. Now, this is the skill that I teach to the school students, because this skill needs to come. It takes some time. Whenever these skills are naturally given to most of the people. Actually, if not, you will have to develop it. If something is told to you, you should be in a position to think visually. Fine. When you think visually, you get a lot of different changes. You will have to practice this and see. Now, next is about the physical abilities. Now, again, I'm talking about another ability only. What is a physical ability that you should take care of? You should take care of your physical strength. Same. Health is wealth. But here, not only our physical health is important, I'm also talking about the mental health. Mental health is also very, very important in this current scenario of the fourth industrial revolution. Manual dexterity and manual precision. It's simply that, as I told earlier, we are going to have robots replacing us. We are going to compete with robots to keep us job. Now, what is the plus point of the robots? What is the best part of robots? It's its precision and fail-proof mechanism. And we will also have to be, see, we may not do the same work that the robots are doing, but robots are going to do the work that you were doing. So if you are going to be the person who is going to take care of that robot, you should be very precise. You should always have the precision in your mind and in your working. Now, again, that is going to save your job or get a job or fetch a job in this particular scenario. Next, about a few basic skills I'm going to talk. These are the skills that anyone could possess. I'm not talking about any technical or non-technical, or for that matter, from the start, I am not talking about any technical skills at all. I'm talking only about the soft skills that you will have to possess. Now, talking about the basic skills, I'm going to tell a few basic skills. One is this content skills. Fine. Active listening needs to be there, because you're not going to interact a lot with people. I'm going to talk about that, people management, separately. Next is your oral expression. Even when you are presenting, or even if you're talking to someone, your expression of putting a concept or an idea needs to be very precisely framed, and the words you choose needs to be really brilliant, because you are going to go to a world where precision is going to be the matter. Now, reading comprehension, again, understanding the policies and other things, you should of course have the reading comprehension, and at the same time you should also be no a self reading or self learning person in the future. Written expression, see, this active learning and oral expression, uh, and reading comprehension and written expression, these are all interlinked, fine. And last important is the ICT literacy. I'm talking about information and communication literacy. It is about how to use the basic technologies we have, how to do the calendaring thing, how to do your uh, regular jobs in a very perfectly managed way, those things. Next is the other processing skills. It is about active listening, fine, which I've already explained you. And next is critical thinking. I've already explained you what is critical thinking. And monitoring self and others. This is very, very important. This is where before I was talking about, the leadership, taking leadership of yourself and others. So that point comes here. These are going to be the basic skills. The things in white are going to be the skills that is based on the ability of a person, fine. And these two are going to be the basic skills that you will have to adopt. Now I'm going to talk about few cross skills, fine, like it may be applicable to you or may not be applicable to you. So uh, please consider whichever is applicable to you. Now, talking about social skills, this is applicable for all. Fine. You should be in a position where you could coordinate with people, where you could influence people, where you can take lead of people, where you can do good people management. That social skill is important. Talking about emotional intelligence is having a right tone of emotion. We have already discussed. Next is negotiation and persuasion. Again, a leadership quality that you will have to possess. You should be good in negotiations, because the business is going to be entirely different, fine. It is going to be about making money in future. It's going to be only the top notch people or the higher pyramid people in the business going to stay, and these skills are much more important for them, fine. It's about negotiation, persuasion, and the important one here is service orientation. You have robots doing your job. You have artificial intelligence in place. Now, what is going to be the matter? It is going to be the service orientation. It is going to be the client satisfaction that is going to be the business key factor. You will have lots of people moving towards service orientation, lots and lots of people moving towards customer relationship management. This is going to be the future in fourth industrial revolution, fine. And next important skill is training and teaching others, because you have technical skills being into the place. You're going to have huge technical skills coming into the picture, so you should be a person who has good training and teaching ability. People into teaching industry, people who think of possessing teaching as their career, you are in right place, but your teaching methodologies needs to change. We are not going to have any old method of teaching. The best example is this COVID-19 again. No one was aware of, is it possible to conduct a class or give the same efficiency through a online session. But now most of the colleges are moved to this place. Most of the colleges are giving training through the online mode only. So the method of teaching and the method of training is going to change, of course, but not the teaching. The teaching is going to stay same and rigid solid in fourth industrial revolution also. So it's a good news for us. And next is the resource management skills. Now, this is going to be one of the important administrative skills that you should possess to be inside a company down the line after 2 years. It's about financial management and material management. You could think the people with BCom finance background, MBA finance background are the people who will take care of this normally. I'm sorry to say this. We are not going to have only MBA graduates, BCom graduates taking care of financial resources and material resources, because that is going to be the only job in future. So you should have the basic understanding of finance, basic understanding of resource management in place, and basic understanding of the rest too also. People management, how to collaborate with the team, coordinate with the team and move ahead, and time management too. Time is going to be again an important thing. As I was telling, fourth industrial revolution is more about precision then time management is one among that. Next is system skills. Fine. It is about judgment. See, when I talk about system skills, it is not about the computerized or something like that. System skills about understanding the structure of the management. Fine. And making decisions accordingly and analyzing the system. See, if the best would be a methodology, simply in words. So if you go and get a burger from a McDonald's in Chennai, it is going to be the same way how you get it even in Delhi or even in Beijing. Fine. The reason is that they have come up with a system. They have come up with a methodology to replicate their products. Fine. This is again going to be important thing. This has actually been a part from second industrial revolution itself. We had quality control teams in place to take care of that. But now in upcoming future, we are not going to have any business as quality people. Now everyone are going to take care of understanding the system. Fine. Your decision making needs to improve. Understanding the system. So system analysis is going to be there. When I say system, it is the way that the company has developed its structure and its product. Fine. And next again is a complex problem solving, which is so relative to the critical thinking which we were talking. It's about you are going to solve multiple problems with one solution. You are going to face, see, we people are practiced to solve one problem with one solution. Fine. Now the situation is going to change. You're going to have five problems, but you should give only one solution. Now that sort of critical thinking and ability needs to be improved. Fine, you should concentrate on that. Now here comes the last, technical skills. Again, this is something which is not going to be applicable for everyone. These are very selective things only. Fine. If you are into any equipment related, hardware related, you should know how to repair, maintain, and control it, because computers are going to be the place. And it's the programming. Now, talking about programming, I'm going to tell what are the skills that you should require in the programming part. Fine. Again, quality control is not same for everyone. Industry it differs. Troubleshooting is quite same. When there is a problem, you need to get it resolved, like using critical problem solving techniques and also technology and user experience design. Fine. You see here also the term is very important. We are talking about user experience design. When you tell about user experience design, again we are going into customer centric business. Most of the companies have already moved, having their own CRM methods, having their own CRM technologies installed. Now we are going to have that as a priority in the future. Fine. Now, in a very clear, since I've spoke about lots and lots of skills, I want to just shortlist into few skills so that you understand it much easier. Talking about technical skills that you should possess in the future. It is data, 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 it is data again. Fine. So data is going to be the future. Fine. People who wish to possess a technical life or a career with technical things, I wish you concentrate on data. Data requires few programming language knowledge, but this data management is not that is only for computer background people. This could be done by anyone. Data collecting, data mining, data analysis, machine learning, deep learning, data sensibility, data growth, and these are going to be the future of artificial intelligence in fourth industrial revolution. Next important thing will be project management tools. Fine. When I say project management, it is not about the people skill. I'm talking about the tools like Agile, Scrum, where you will have data related business happening, but you will have to manage it, for which we have a tool. The IT industries and other industries have a tool, and you should have a knowledge about that tool. The best examples which I gave is Agile, Scrum, and there are many more like that. Fine. And important is customer relationship, which I am insisting and emphasizing from the first or fourth industrial revolution presentation, is the customer relationship. You should concentrate, you should target, you should improve your skills on customer relationships. Now, given that, for the benefit of technical people, now I'm coming to the soft skills that you will have to concentrate. I've explained everything already. These are just few pointers. Business care. Okay. Taking care of the business. I was telling about system analysis and understanding the system and decision making. That is the business care I am meaning. People management again. So you are going to be in a situation where you're going to manage people. Next is team collaboration. We require to be in team and resolve issues. Decision making is another important thing that we are going to concentrate upon. Next is the service orientation. As I said, customer relationship and service orientation is something very important that we would be targeting. Cognitive skills, again, I've explained you in detail about no multiple view and multiple faceted decisions you'll have to take. And it's a complex problem solving, again, solving multiple problems with a brilliant single solutions and key performing indicators. This is again very important. You should concentrate on what are the key performance related indicators inside a company and try to possess that skill. Every industry is not going to have everything I told. Fine, you should understand. For example, for an hotel industry, hospitality and people management is the core. That is a key performing indicator for them. Fine, if you're into any other field, for example, if you are into any retail industry, customer relationship is going to be your priority. Fine, so you should understand that is a key performing indicator and you should work upon that. So so I would just like to end this presentation about skills of fourth industrial revolution and COVID-19 era with one small story. There was this old man. This story is happening in 1960s, if you can imagine, in a train, fine, in the night time. There is one old man sitting near the window and peeping out, and there are two youngsters sitting opposite to them. Fine. So imagine, the train seats are opposite faces. They are also sitting near the window. There's two friends there, and there's one friend who's so happy and so proud about buying a new Rolex watch. And he is, boasting about that particular watch to his friend, and his friend is getting and seeing, and out of this, exchange, the watch falls down from the running train. Fine. Now he got really tensed. He don't know what to do. Imagine this scene is 1960s place. Okay, so he's really tense and he's running here and there to find the TTR, to get some way out, to stop the train, go and take it, and do whatever is possible. Now this old man who was sitting opposite to them was not even responding to anything that they were doing, but simply peeping out to the window and seeing and enjoying the scenery. And this guy who lost the watch was really very pissed off because of that. It was like he's an old man, he should have known something and he should have helped him in understanding something, but he never helped. The train stopped, but and he was about to get down to go in search of his watch, but he was not convinced by the behavior of this old man. So he went to that old man, rushed and asked, like, I'm shouting and you're not even responding or not even telling me how to get rid of the problem. Then that old man responded with one single line. He said, you could find your watch 50 poles from this station. Now he was actually counting the number of poles. Fine. Now, why did I tell this story? Is that, see, in our life, if we want to move ahead, we need to react to the actions happen to us. There is one big action that has happened to us, uh, is COVID-19. Another which is going to happen is fourth industrial revolution. There, that old man's action was falling off the watch, and he reacted in a way that the watch could be found easier. Now, here the actions before us is COVID-19 and fourth industrial revolution, and the reaction for that from our side to sustain our career, our life, is going to be upgrading our skills on the limits or on the outer line that I've given you people. Thank you. And I'm done with my presentation. So I can have your questions posted in the chat box so that I can answer for 5 minutes. I can, okay.
Good afternoon, participants. If you have any queries, please ask now. This is the question answer session. Participants can ask your questions now.
There are around, yeah. I have opened my chat box and I'm expecting questions if any. Yeah. Thank you, Shinsi ma'am. Thank you.
Sir,
Yeah, yes.
sir, I would like to ask if being technology oriented is the need of the hour, how do we cater to the needs of the rural students?
Yes, that is what the point I was already telling. If we are talking about improving the education system based on the technology, is going to be something which is going to help us. First point. And second point, I am not telling technology driven solutions are there. Fine. We are going to have technology in place working for most of the companies, but there is something else that we need to notice. Technology alone is not going to take over. We should possess few management related skills. Talking about targeting rural people, we have already in place few technologies. For example, we have Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana is there, fine, where we are actually training the students of rural people and people with rural background. Fine. Now, how is this PMKVY is happening? Is that we do have system installed by government. Fine, in the particular society, and the trainings are happening. The very important part here is that the training is not the conventional method of training. Trainings are technology oriented. Trainings are given on the tools that is going to be in the future. Fine. That is something that the government is taking steps about, and we're definitely going to have. So, hope you know that India is having the highest demographic dividend. We are going to have a lot of people in the workforce age group alone. So, it is very important to skill them. We have lots of government policies in place which is actually working to improve that. Fine. Of course, we require the help of the government to do that. So government is into concern of that, and it is coping up with that too. Yes. So I
Thank
think
you,
that
sir.
should have answered. Yeah. Okay. There is Kavita Gopalakshan's question. Just mention about two tools that here Scrum and the other one. I don't get it. Could you kindly repeat it? Fine. This Kavita Gopalan is telling about two project management tools that I mentioned in my presentation. So these are the tools used by the IT companies to manage their projects, because in IT companies there are multiple locations where same project is happening, right? So they will have to have a system in place. There are two softwares which they use. One is Agile and the other one is Scrum. Fine. So this is again a management tool. You doesn't require any technical background to master this tool to have a career in it. So anyone could possess this and get to have a career in that. So Kavita Gopalakrishnan, the tools that I mentioned were Agile and Scrum. Fine. Yes, I've answered that question too. Is there any other question?
Sir, I don't think there will be any more
Yeah.
questions.
Mm-hmm.
So without wasting time, let me move on to the next session. I
Yeah.
invite Ms. Twinkle George to propose the word of thanks.
Good afternoon, Manano. Respected Principal, Dr. Sister Rosalie A.V., our resource person, Mr. Vigneswar K., and all the participants. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks to all who have helped in making this national seminar a resounding success after all the inconveniences caused. And a special thanks to our resource person, Mr. Vigneswar K. So we couldn't introduce him properly in the beginning. So he's a very successful and dynamic corporate trainer and the chairman of TTT Initiative, an NGO based in Chennai, Youth Icon Runner-up 2014, Indian Cultural Ambassador for Japan 2012 are some laurels to his credit. On behalf of Morningstar Home Science College and the Department of English, I thank our distinguished speaker, Mr. Vigneswar R., for the excellent presentation. It was really meaningful and interesting. I express sincere gratitude to our principal, Dr. Sister Rosalie A.V., Ms. Sophia James, head of the department, and all other faculties for your guidance and support. Also, I thank all the participants for your cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thanks a lot. It was great pleasure in sharing my knowledge about the skills. And thanks a lot for being patient after no, we had few issues with technical things. And thanks a lot for the management for giving such an opportunity to share and transfer the things that I know regarding the skills and the skills that would help the students in their career too. So thanks a lot. And people who still have questions and need to connect with me, you could always connect with me by my name, Vigneswar Kumar, through any of the social media platform. So you can text me to my numbers too. I could be in a happier position to help you and guide you throughout if any skill related issues or any skill related decisions that you need to take with regard to your career. Thank you. Thanks a lot, ma'am. Thanks for everyone who organized this national seminar. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. With this, we wind up this national webinar. I request all the participants to share your details in the chat box. Please mention your mail ID with which you registered to log into this session so that we can send you your e-certificates. Please make sure you send your or type your mail ID in the chat box along with your name and designation. Thank you.
Hi all, one small thing. I'm putting my mail ID and my contact detail in the chat box. People who want to get connected with me can always, okay?